Hey, how's it going? I wanted to make this short video to tell you about some experiences that have been happening to me the last couple years. This video is about gang stalking, targeted harassment. Um, I heard it. I've heard it been called a lot of different things, but I think the main term is gang stalking. So I just want to get right into this. Um, I have met several other people that this has been happening to. I've talked to several people it's been happening to. So this is a real thing, and it actually is. I think it is actually getting recognized um, in the public because I've met other people that are fully aware that this is happening. So that is, I think it is a good thing. Uh, I don't know who is perpetrating this program or whatever. I know I think it is some type of offshoot of the federal government, whether the CIA or some type of uh, some branch of the government, because there's no way that they would have the legs or the infrastructure to do something like that. Um, but I have seen police officers, citizens, neighbors, co-workers participate on this stuff with personally with me as far as being harassed, targeted, followed, stalked. Um, so I just want to get right into it. Don't want to be too long-winded. So I am 38 years old. I was born in Manhattan, Kansas. My mom got divorced to my father when I was a young kid. She got remarried to two different officers in the military, in the army. Um, so I had two different stepdads growing up. Moved around a lot. Finally relocated to Tacoma, Washington, when I was in middle school, high school, and finished middle school and high school there. Actually ended up dropping out of high school, but getting my GED. I first started noticing that this stuff was happening in 2014. Although I believe that I had been put on the list a long time ago. In 2010, 2011, I was doing some drugs, making some bad decisions in my life, and got a theft case, and that was my first and only case. But other than that, I mean, I'm not a criminal. I'm not a terrorist. I'm not a violent person. I don't. I'm I'm not anything like that. I have been unstable, struggled with alcohol and drugs off and on in my life. Haven't really kept a job for a very long amount of time, um, and have moved around a lot. So, actually, the origins of this, or why I was put into the program, are kind of a mystery to me. Other than I honestly think that the reason I was put into this program is because um, I am looked on as maybe somebody who's discredited, and they can run the program on me because I don't really have like my own house. I'm not really a I don't make a lot of money. I've been homeless before, so if I was to go to somebody or a doctor and say, "Hey, listen, I'm hearing voices and these people are following me," they would quickly put me in front of a psychiatrist and I would be diagnosed. And so that's why they're doing it to me. I know that's why they're doing it to me, honestly. Um, but you think that these resources would actually be used on, people that are doing real crimes, like mass shooters and all these. If they have this type of technology with people, you know, why aren't they using it to catch real criminals? You know what I mean? So, because they know where I'm at all the time. I could fly to Texas right now, to Dallas, Texas, and get a hotel room somewhere, and they would be there. So they have this type of technology out there, and so it leads me kind of to believe, like, you look at FBI's most wanted. How do they not know where those people are if they have this type of technology? It's really puzzling to me. But anyway, so I first started noticing this stuff started happening in 2014. Um, I had kind of got off a couple year run of being homeless, traveling around, working jobs, just kind of being, I guess, the literal definition of a hobo. Someone who would go from city to city, town to town, just working in restaurant jobs, staying in hostels, stuff like that. I guess kind of unstable, but just getting drunk a lot, not really doing any much, honestly, just kind of traveling around working. But my dad had agreed to let me come stay with him, and I came back, uh, and I took a Greyhound. I noticed that people were following me on the Greyhound and making indirect threats at me and stuff. And it was actually really bizarre, because I was really trying to figure I was trying to figure out, like, why are these people so interested in me? You know what I mean? I could see if you come into a town and you're homeless and nobody knows you, and maybe there's some type of activity going on there and they're just kind of wondering who you are. I could see that, but this continued. This continued to every place I went, like different states and stuff. I would go through, and they'd be like waiting for me, like, it's almost like I don't know if you've seen like the Born, or I don't know, Jason Bourne or something. I mean, it was almost like I'm like America's Most Wanted or something. Like I'm like a really important person. Like these people are following me around, and it is really puzzling because it's like, I'm kind of like a nobody. So it's, why am I important to these people? You know, and then I didn't really know what was going on. So I thought there was two things going on. I was either actually losing it, losing my mind, or there was some type of mistaken identity. Like some people thought that I was somebody that I wasn't, or something. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I could figure out. So, anyways, I had got a job at a restaurant. I was staying with my father, and I got a job at a really nice restaurant, and then went out and we partied it up. Partying pretty big, getting drunk, and then went back to my house, or my dad's apartment, and I was in the other room, and I decided to call in to work, and started hearing. This is the first time I experienced, I guess, what's called V2K, or voice to skull. That's what I've heard it been called. But I started hearing these voices coming through the wall. Now I know I'm not crazy. I mean, I'm totally of sound mind. Um, but there was these voices coming through the wall, and they were all really derogatory voices, like, I'm gonna kill you, you're a piece of shit, we're gonna come in there and, like, fuck you up, and all this just real derogatory, threatening, aggressive language. And I think why they do that is because um, it's just pretty much to scare the shit out of you, kind of make you feel like you're fight or flight, like it's at any moment you're gonna die, and all this and that. um, I have experienced it many times since then, so in a way I've kind of gotten used to it, and I actually know what the technology is. I don't know exactly how it's done, but I know that it is some type of technology, and so I do know that much. But anyways, I pretty much flipped out, went to the hospital, didn't really know what was going on. And when I left the hospital, this kind of started what I call like running. I had no idea what this program was, but I thought either I was going crazy or somebody was like literally after me for some reason. You know what I mean? And I took a plane to Austin. I took all the money I had, sold my car, went to Austin, Texas, and found a place to stay there. But it followed me there, whatever, the program. Like, I literally go downtown, and like people would be staring at me. People would drive by in cars, like telling me to, fuck you, like, stuff like that. Um, I went out to 6th Street in Austin, to have some drinks. I kind of like to dance a little bit and stuff. I went out to 6th Street, and like everybody knew who I was before I went. I went to the bar, and like people knew they were expecting me. It's almost like there was some type of that I was being followed, and like they were telling, hey, he's coming in here. They're all texting each other. I would go into the club, and people would be taking pictures of me. And I'm just like, man, in my head, I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not involved. Like, what the hell is going on here, man? It's like, how are these people following me from Kansas City to Austin? Like, am I that important of a person? It really doesn't make any sense. But Anyways, long story short, the next couple of years, I literally traveled everywhere: Austin, Colorado, North Carolina. I went up to Portland, Maine. I went to Madison, Wisconsin, California, freaking Oklahoma. And I have a lot of experiences that we just don't even have enough time to. We don't even have the time to tell you all the experiences. Maybe I'll make a couple other videos about specific situations. But pretty much every state I went to, it was there. There were people there waiting for me, indirectly threatening me. I actually have seen the same group of people follow me, like the same actual people, like literally stalking, some type of PI group or something following me around two different states. The same people have followed me all the way around, all the way to North Carolina, to Oklahoma, um, doing this stuff they called street theater. I went to Flagstaff, Arizona one time, and when I went there, they already knew I was staying in a hostel. Everybody that worked in the hostel knew that I was there. I mean, they would say things in my room. They would like knock on my door and like say stuff. People moved into the hostel, and it's like they call them perpetrators or whatever. Uh, it's kind of funny, honestly, dude. Sometimes you just gotta laugh at it because it's like, man, these people go to great lengths to fuck with you. I mean, these people take plane flights and fly in and shit. So, I mean, the funding for this stuff is, and you can't even almost make it up. It's like you can't even believe it's happening. You can't even believe that it's actually happening. But now I've figured out what this is. I don't know exactly what it is, exactly who's doing it, but I've talked to several people that the same exact stuff is happening to them. Um, and it actually is getting recognized right now on the internet, and a lot of people think people are nuts. But I just want to kind of end this video, and I'll make some other videos about specificities in the program, and hopefully other people can get back to me and say they relate. I assume that people that are the perps that do this stuff, that they'll comment, they'll like my videos. They're probably watching this right now, so shout out to you guys. But yeah, I mean, they have been doing. I'm in Iowa right now, and they have been doing They haven't really been doing the like actual harassment, like physical harassment for a while, but they have been doing the V2K stuff um, all the time. So actually, just I got out of hospital and decided to move to Iowa, and they've just been like fucking with me hardcore with the V2K stuff. So it's ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. But they told me stuff like they just want me to get my life together and be stable, which is understandable. But they've said all kinds of weird stuff with the V2K stuff. They said they were family members. They've said that they were past friends. I don't believe any of that because I think what they want you to do is they want to drive you insane, pretty much. So. And I think that actually has happened to a few people. Like you hear like Myron Mays and a few like shooters and stuff that it was happening to. They just go crazy. I mean, they can't. I mean, if you don't know what this is, you literally think you're going insane if you don't find out what this is, because that's what it's designed to do, is to make you insane. And you know what? You got to think about what type of person would do this to somebody. You know what I mean? Unless you were like a rapist or a sex offender or some real weirdo. You know what I mean? Somebody who's really out here like, physically harming people, or a terrorist or something. But what type of person would just do this to somebody who had issues like drug and alcohol issues, or you got to think a real psychopathic person who likes to torture people. Pretty much, you're pretty much talking about like people are on the level that like to torture people. You know what I mean? Like torture animals and stuff. That is the mind state of these people, and it is really sick, and it's a massive injustice. But hopefully one day the light will get shown on it, and I'm just one more video, one more testimony. So, all right, y'all. Talk to you later.